Meantime, Ryanair says it may have to push back its growth plans up to 2 years due to delays in deliveries of the Boeing 737 MAX. Phil LeBeau joins us with the latest on this ongoing saga. Good morning to you, Phil.
Good morning, Andrew. And Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary just wrapped up his conference call with analysts, and his comments on the MAX were fairly positive. As you take a look at shares of Ryanair, we should tell you that the company did post a solid profit for the third quarter, just under $100 million. But it's the comments from O'Leary that people are focused on. Remember, Ryanair was supposed to get its first 737 MAX back in May of last year. It's not going to get it until October of this year. That's the expectation at this point. But Michael O'Leary thinks this delay ultimately could work to Ryanair's advantage over the next several quarters.
We'll sit down with Boeing, redo the schedule, delivery schedule based on what they can achieve, and then we will update the market with our traffic growth at that time. But what it means certainly for this year and next year is slower traffic growth. That's probably good for underlying yields, since we're the one who deliver more. We're the airline that grows most and fastest in Europe, and if we're growing slower, there's probably upward momentum on our fares and yields and less capacity pressure in Europe.
As you take a look at shares of Boeing, keep in mind that Ryanair has 210 737 MAXs that it has ordered, and Michael O'Leary saying just a few minutes ago that they also plan to order several 737 MAX -10. That's the stretch version of the MAX. They haven't officially placed that order yet, but at some point they will. So fairly positive comments, guys, from Michael O'Leary regarding the moves that Boeing has made to get the MAX back on schedule, ultimately certified perhaps by the middle of this year, and then back in service.
Phil, does that surprise you to hear that it might take 2 years for them to get the deliveries of some of these planes, or is that just to be expected? It's the math when you shut down production.
Correct. That is what was expected. And look, they have been pushing this out 3 months at a time, 3 months at a time, 3 months at a time. I think Michael O'Leary, as well as other airline CEOs, feel a little more comfortable with the current schedule that's been set up here. There's a little bit of flexibility built in there as Boeing works with the regulators, both the FAA as well as EASA over in Europe and other regulators around the world. The fact that they have to stretch out how long it will take them to get to their passenger target, Becky, I think that's pretty much what people were expecting. They certainly were expecting that it was going to be at least a year and a half. So 2 years is not a huge stretch for people to understand, at least the analysts.
And Phil, what do you just hear in terms of the relationship that Boeing has with its customers, these big airlines at this point?
Well, it's fragile, but improving. And it certainly has improved under Dave Calhoun as the new CEO. You've got him as CEO, and then you have Larry Kellner, former CEO of Continental Airlines, who is now the chairman of Boeing. They've made a concerted effort since Dave Calhoun was put into the CEO position to work closely with the airlines to say, look, we understand the position that you're in. Here's what we're doing. Much better communication than there was in the past under Dennis Muhlenberg. In fact, I've heard that back from airline executives, that they feel more comfortable dealing with Dave Calhoun and Boeing right now than they did, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago.